Howdy partners, it's your old buddy the Reddit writer. Welcome back to the Reddit Ranch. Come in and sit a spell and listen to the mighty fine tales I gotta tell. Our first story is from a little lady that lets her past impact her present, and maybe, even her future.
AITA for thinking my husband was ualizing our daughter? My husband and I have a daughter who is 13. I was being touched from the time I was 12 by my own father, up until he accidentally got me pregnant at 15, and I went to live with my aunt. I have a lot of unresolved trauma, but because of this trauma I was very on top of changing my daughter. My husband rarely changed a diaper, or gave her baths. I was weary about leaving them alone together even though my husband never gave me a reason to. I stole a lot from my husband, which is when I agreed to finally go to therapy about 9 years ago. I was in it for a few years. A few days ago, my daughter asked my husband and I if we thought she could get some more adult underwear. She said the girls in the locker room were looking at her weird for her childish underwear. I said no, but my husband thought maybe it was time for her to upgrade her wardrobe. This triggered me, and when my daughter left the room, I asked him why he thought that was okay to buy our daughter adult underwear and not to make our decisions on our daughter's underwear, don't tell her she should wear more adult underwear, etc. He got upset and said she was in middle school now, and he didn't want her to be bullied, and that I couldn't start this again. He then said I needed to stop thinking of him as this monster because he's her father and not my dad, and that if these episodes were going to start up again, I needed to go back to therapy. I feel as though, him knowing my trauma, he shouldn't get so angry and demand me to go back to therapy. I have every right to be cautious. AITA?
Well ma'am, let me start by saying how very sorry I am that happened to y'all. No child should ever have their childhood taken away like that. I truly hope he got what he deserved. With that being said, I'm sorry, but when it comes to how you're treating your husband, I do reckon that y'all are the sidewinder. Y'all are punishing him for a crime he never committed, and from y'all's own post, y'all have no reason to think he ever would commit. He ain't your father. Maybe going back to therapy isn't the worst of ideas. What do y'all think? Is she just being cautious, or is she just transferring what her pa did to her hubby? Let me know in the comments. Our next story was from a cowpoke that wants to know if he was a sidewinder because he didn't tell his friend's parents that she passed. I should warn y'all, this is kind of a tough one.
AITA for not telling my friend's parents she passed? I'm 22, and I had a childhood best friend Luna who was 23. We were very close, and she lived across from me and we even went to the same school. I loved her so much, and she was honestly there for me in times where no one was, and she was the sister I never had. Luna was raised in a strict Christian household and her parents are very religious. Luna came out to them when she was 17 and they kicked her out and told her to never come back. Luna lived with my family and I for a year, and when she became 18 she started working her butt off with various jobs. I was there for her, and I know what she felt and how alone and betrayed she felt by her family. And I still get mad when I remember how exhausted she looked at that time. She used to live in a tiny studio apartment, and did her best. She sadly couldn't afford going to college, so she had no other choice than working as a dancer and a McDonald's cashier. 2 months ago I had received the devastating news that Luna had passed from reasons I am not comfortable sharing. I was, and still am very sad, and I feel like a part of me is gone. Her funeral was paid by me and our friend group, and it was a small funeral and small attendance. Her friends, and their parents plus mine. No one reached out to her parents, because they hadn't contacted her or asked about her since the day they kicked her out. Last week her parents called me and asked me about Luna. I asked them why they were asking about her suddenly. They told me they had been thinking about her for the past 3 months and missed their daughter dearly. They told me they learned a lot about the LGBTQ community, and were hoping to apologize and reconcile with her but couldn't find her number. That's when I told them she had passed. They didn't believe me at first. Then their disbelief turned into anger. They yelled at me and told me how selfish it was for no one to tell them their own daughter had passed. If I had bothered to tell them, they would have been there at her funeral and helped with the preparations, and maybe they even could have prevented her passing. I heard that her dad went into a depressive episode after that, and her mom is on the verge of a mental breakdown. And I know that they kicked her out, but a part of me still feels like it was wrong of me to not tell them about her passing. She was still their daughter, and maybe I owed them that. I don't know. I want an unbiased point of view. AITA for not telling them? Or was that the consequences of their actions? Edit. Those who are asking if her parents were not informed of her passing as of her next of kin. Her parents disowned her, so her next of kin was her aunt, her mother's sister, and she is the one who gave me the news. The aunt isn't close with the family either and had her issues with them, so she didn't tell them.
Well, partner, to start with, I'm so very sorry for y'all's loss. I reckon she sounds like she was a terrific friend. But no, y'all ain't the sidewinder. Telling her parents wasn't y'all's responsibility. But you know what, I reckon they weren't really angry with y'all. Oh sure, they may have taken it out on y'all, but I think they were angry with themselves. Because of their own foolishness, they missed their chance to make peace with their daughter, to tell her how much they truly loved her, and how wrong they were. And that can be a bitter pill to swallow. What do y'all reckon? Do y'all think it was his job to tell her parents about her passing, or do y'all think Luna's aunt should have? Or do you think this is just a case where Luna's folks should reap what they sow? Let me know down below. Next we have one from a tenderfoot that wants to know if telling his girlfriend that she was overreacting makes him a sidewinder.
AITA for telling my girlfriend she's overreacting? I'm 25, and my girlfriend Allie, who's 21, have been together for a little over a year. I love her to death, but she has these little habits that drive me insane. We just moved in together at the start of August. First off, she doesn't really like to cook. I love to cook, so I do it more often than she does. Because of this, I decided the dishes are her job. It's only fair that if I cook dinner for both of us a few times a week, I don't do any dishes. Plus I work. We both work 12-hour shifts. Mine are night shifts and hers are both. She's been off a few weeks because she got a concussion. So while I work my 3 shifts a week, she stays home. We had a fight the other day because I found out she made food for herself while I was working and didn't tell me there was leftovers, so I didn't know I could eat it when I got home the next morning. She also ate a chicken burger 2 days in a row while I was gone. I said it was excessive and that she shouldn't eat the same thing that often. She claims it was because she can't be up for long with her concussion, and they're easy. She snacks on random things. She won't just eat crackers, she'll eat cereal out of the box. She bought a box of Fruit Loops a week ago. Today I saw her eating them dry and most of the bag was already gone. I took them out of her hands and put it away. She was mad, but I told her cereal is expensive and she shouldn't just eat it like that. She does the same thing when she buys frozen fruit. I took that away from her too a couple times because she'd eat it multiple days in a row. I work 3 nights in a row a week, then I have 4 days off. I keep my schedule the rest of the week because it's easier. I sleep around 7 a.m. most days and wake at 5 p.m. When I get up, I ask Allie to help me unpack my boxes and she never wants to. She claims it's because she's been up all day, but I think she doesn't want to unpack my stuff. Since her head's been improving, she's been unpacking more of her boxes, but it's a waste of time. She takes out books when my kitchen stuff is boxed. We don't need books out, and she puts her stuff places without checking if I'm okay with it. Yesterday she said she was going to go to the store. I told her to stay home because we needed to unpack my stuff. We started unpacking a box, but she got a headache and stopped. I haven't been able to get most of my stuff unpacked since we moved in because she's been concussed the whole time and can't help me. I've been waiting for her, but she's upset with me that I haven't unpacked anything myself because apparently that's what I should have been doing. She got mad at me and said I'm controlling since we moved in. I said she's overreacting. I'm just trying to make sure she eats right, and we each do half. She also got mad at me for my sleep schedule because it's hard being the one watching our 2 dogs all day. I feel like she's overreacting. AITA?
Hold on a second, partner. I'm a mite bit confused. Are y'all her boyfriend, or her pa? I mean, she's old enough to decide on her own diet requirements and doesn't need y'all help with it. And as for her not unpacking y'all's stuff, well, if y'all are insisting on maintaining your awake and sleep schedule, then why not just unpack your own stuff? I mean, she's unpacking her stuff, and you didn't mention that she asked for your help with that, did she? But you are right, someone is overreacting, but it's not her, it's y'all. Oh, by the by, y'all are the sidewinder. Well, what do y'all think? Is he a controlling sidewinder, or a caring boyfriend? Y'all tell me what y'all think about this here situation. Our last story is from a little filly who has a husband that is caring for his sick parents, but the problem is... Hold on, y'all will have to give me a second. The problem is that he doesn't spend enough time with his wife, so she, naturally wants to divorce him. Wait, he's neglecting his poor wife? Just because he is taking care of his sick parents? The bastard.
AITA for divorcing my husband because he is caring for his sick parents? For the record, I still love my husband. I just did not sign up to spend my 30s with a man that spends most his time and a large sum of money caring for his elderly parents. My parents are not exactly pleased with me. He is a great man and a wonderful provider, but as I told my parents, there is more to marriage than that. He is not the same person I married. He has neglected me. I get it, his parents are sick, but his parents are not his immediate family. I also want to have kids. I cannot do that with a man that is caring for his parents. My mom me how disappointed she was in me and that I should reconsider. My father asked me how do I intend to support myself. My husband, soon to be ex-husband, made more than enough money to support us. My husband was big on pursuing dreams, so he offered to cover everything if I wanted to pursue my passion for art. I told my father I will be getting spousal support, and as an older parent my father said, "You made the choice to leave him, and he has to support you even though he did nothing wrong?" I simply told my father I was being neglected as his wife. He was focusing more on his parents than our marriage. Even my brother is upset and called me selfish. So AITA? Am I being selfish? Is it wrong to not want to be in a marriage with someone that is tied to their parents?
What, you selfish? What makes y'all say that? Just because you're the most entitled person I've ever heard of? Y'all's husband is taking care of his sick parents. That can be so mentally and emotionally draining. And what's y'all's response? Is it to hold him close, tell him it'll be all right? No. It's to threaten to divorce him if he doesn't start showing you some attention. You mentioned not having kids? Well, thank God for small miracles. In fact, I do reckon it would be a big mistake for y'all to have kids. Because if y'all do, y'all will end up resenting them because y'all's husband will end up giving them more attention than he gives you. Oh, by the way, not only are y'all a sidewinder, but to call y'all a sidewinder is an insult to sidewinders everywhere. Well, partners, what do y'all think? Do y'all think I was being too mean to her, or do y'all reckon that the best thing she could do for her hubby is to leave him? Let me know what y'all reckon. Well, I plumb reckon that's all the time we got today, but if y'all like this here video then please, hit like and subscribe, it'll really make this old cowpoke smile. And if y'all got anything to say, then feel free to tell me what's on your mind down in the comments. Until y'all come back to the Reddit Ranch. Adios.